Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. It's been a while. Yes, I know it has been a while. I had to make some moves and I had to do some things. It is what it is. Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, I want to get right into the topic at hand right here today. I want to talk a little bit about the situation in California and Los Angeles. Now, we all know what happened. Okay, we all know about ICE going in, ICE baby, that's what they call him now, ICE going in because to arrest and detain illegals. And when they did so, the quote unquote protesters, which in my opinion are not actual protesters, I believe these people are highly paid, highly trained agitators, okay, began to spit on these police officers. Not only ICE, but also other law enforcement officers began to spit on them, begin to throw rocks at the car windows. I mean, I have seen videos of these quote unquote protesters on bridges throwing things over the bridges, big rocks over the bridges onto police cars. I've seen them videos of these quote unquote protesters chipping out rocks out of the side of curbs, which is interesting because I couldn't help but ask myself the question, who gave them the hammers and so forth to do this? Who told them to do this? But anyway, that's another story in itself. Yeah, these protesters begin to attack law enforcement officers and even ICE for simply doing their job. Okay, we all know the story of the reason for that. The reason for that was because they have a problem with the protesters had a problem with ICE coming in and detaining and arresting illegals. To them, there was an issue. No, everybody have the right to be here, even though they're here illegally. Everyone has a right to be here. Okay, this is their whole mantra. This is their excuse for their acts of violence. Now, let me back up a little bit here. I am all in support of a person's right to protest. In the 1960s, they protest for civil rights. Prior to that, in the early history of our country, there was all kinds of protests. I think there was protests against liquor prohibition, whatever. I mean, there was all kinds of protests in this country because we have the right to do so. In fact, in other countries under monarchies, okay, you did not have that right, and you do not have that right. The king's word was law, and it wasn't about any protesting. In many of the countries today, particularly communist countries, there's no such thing as protesting. You don't have a right to voice your opinion against the government, because if you do, you're going to have a serious problem on your hand. You will either be in jail without the bail, or you're going to be unalived. It is. This is how those were how those countries operated. That's how some of these countries operate today. So with that being said, okay, I am all in support of protests, lawful protests. But when you attack police officers, when you attack law enforcement officers, even if you disagree with what they are doing, attacking them, throwing Molotov cocktails at them, burning and overturning cars, looting, breaking into stores, stealing stuff, that is not protest. It's really simple. It's not hard. It's not all that. It's not that much to analyze. You don't have to be liberal or conservative or in the middle to understand that concept. It's pretty straightforward. It's about as plain as I can put it. Okay, so now here's the dealio. Trump sent in, and we all know Trump sent in the National Guard, and then later he sent in the Marines. I think it was like some estimated 400, some estimated 500, some 700. I don't know. The point is, he sent in the Marines because evidently the state governor, Gavin Newsom, the communist of California, and the LA mayor, I forget her name, the one that went silent when asked the questions about where she was spending her time when her city was burning down. Okay, she looked like she was like a deer caught in the headlight. She looking around and so forth. Anyway, those two did nothing to curb the violence that was being initiated against ICE and law enforcement officials in simply doing their job. They did nothing. So guess what? The government, the federal government, came in and stepped in. So what I understand is when the state don't do their job, the federal government has to step in and do it for them. Okay, now with that being said, here's the crutch of what I want to get at. The sheriff in Florida said, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys already have already heard what the Florida sheriff said. We ain't having that. I'm paraphrasing his words. We ain't having that. That is not going to happen here. That's not going to happen. And I want to read to you guys something in this article here that I thought was very, very interesting, because Lizzo, the pop sensation Lizzo, has a major problem with the Florida sheriff saying what he said, because evidently she believes that the Florida sheriff, in saying the quote unquote inflammatory words that he had said about, these protesters or agitators that come to Florida with all of that is going to be a problem. She twisted it and was basically saying, okay, well, he's trying to take away people's right to protest. Anyone who listened to what the Florida sheriff said know good and well he was not against anyone's right to protest. So I'm just going to read to you a little bit of what he said in this transcript, in this article, if you did not get a chance to hear what this Florida police sheriff said. So I want to show you just a little bit of the article, see if you can see this. That's Lizzo here, obviously on the side. That's the sheriff there, which is interesting because I thought Lizzo had, I'm not making fun of her. But I was hearing videos where she supposedly lost weight or whatever, but it doesn't seem like she's really lost it here. Not making fun of her, I'm just saying. So someone somewhere is lying somewhere, I guess. But anyway, I want to read to you what the sheriff actually said. If, quote, if you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to jail. You're going to jail tired because we're going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. Now, as I said, I heard everything he said when he actually said it. So what I'm reading here in this transcript is accurate. It's not made up. The editor of this particular article at this point have not embellished upon it. So it's not AI or any of that nonsense. This is really what he said. Let's go on. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and then jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and then jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. Now, here's the part that really set everyone on fire. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will, quote unquote, I'm going to say unalive, but you know what he said. We will unalive you, graveyard dead. We're not going to play. I'll stop right there. You guys can read the rest of that article in the Breitbart News app if you like. That's from Breitbart News. I know some people don't like Breitbart News, but I think Breitbart News is okay. Other news sources, but anyway, I think they're okay. I don't think they're lying here, because I actually heard the sheriff's words. You can read later on in the article what Lizzo said. I'm paraphrasing what she said. She essentially was against what the sheriff was saying, because she felt and believed that the sheriff was pushing against people's constitutional right to protest. That is not what he has. That is not what he said. Anyone that's bothering to watch this video, what I just read to you, what you heard, what I just read to you, does it sound like this sheriff in Florida is pushing against people's constitutional right to protest? If anyone has any cognitive abilities, they would know the answer to that is an unequivocal no. So what she's saying is inaccurate. I don't know what it's interesting to me. People on the left, not all, but most of my experience has been that people on the left tend to take things way out of proportion. And this is exactly what it is here. Now, the question inevitably is this. Do I agree with what the sheriff said? Yep, 100%. If you point a gun at me, it's on like Donkey Kong. Because any law enforcement officer would be a fool to allow someone to point a gun at them and you sit back and maybe assume that maybe they're just trying to threaten you. That is ridiculous. No well-trained police officer would allow anyone, whether they're part of a protest group or whatever, to aim a gun at them. That is not part of their training, and to be quite honest with you, it's not part of common sense. I agree with him. We're going to put you down. We're going to unalive you. Hooray. I'm in total agreement with him. Everything he said, I agree with. I don't disagree with it at all. He did not say he was coming against people's constitutional right to protest, but he was saying in right in your face without any contradiction, without any, what is he actually saying here? No, he meant what he said. They're not going to play that in Florida. It ain't happening. You're not going to come. Basically, he's saying you're not going to come to Florida causing all the hell and chaos that you're doing over there in L.A. You're not going to do it. We don't play that. Homie don't play that here. That's basically what he's saying. And Lizzo, she basically, in my opinion, needs to just sit on down and stop making statements about stuff that she don't know about, because she's totally wrong, inaccurate, and she's spreading misinformation. That's my word on it. Yeah, I don't change. When it comes to the truth, I don't change. People don't like it. Hey, it is what it is. But yeah. I'm in total agreement with this sheriff. I disagree with what Lizzo says simply because it's not true. It's not accurate. That's a lie. That's a twisting of the truth. And what she's saying is not accurate. Bottom line. So yeah. I'm like I said, I'm in total agreement with what he's saying here. People have a problem with it, or it's just some people say, well, that's too extreme. In my opinion, I don't think it is extreme. If it's, I mean, that's like somebody coming to you and pointing a gun at you. You have a gun, and they point a gun at you, and you point a gun at them, and you start pointing your gun at them and shoot them. And they point a gun at you. What you think they're gonna do if they point a gun at you? Huh? What you think they're gonna do? What you think they're gonna do? What do you think somebody's gonna do if they throw a rock at you? What are they trying to do to you? Are they trying to play games with you? Are they playing catch? They're trying to seriously hurt you. They're trying to seriously unalive you. I had this happen to me some years ago by a group of young boys. You know, I'm on my way from the grocery store. I got bags and everything. These boys ride up on me on bikes, trying to rob me. You know what I'm saying? It's late at night. You know what I'm saying? Well, not late at night, but like it was dark. You had some on one side and the others on this side. And the guy on my left side, he had his camera out filming it. So they was going to film me get my head bashed in. That's how sick people are nowadays, man. Young boys. I just happened by the grace of God to turn around to my right, and there was a young boy coming at me with a rock this big. He had to hold it with both hands. And then when he grabbed it to throw it at me, like this, and I ducked. Did like this. And the rock deflected off of my shoulder. I ain't going to go into the detail, but they scattered after a while. But the point is that when that young boy threw that rock at me, he wasn't playing catch. He wasn't saying, "Mister, can we play catch?" He wasn't saying that. In the same scenario here, if you aim a gun at someone, or you're throwing rocks at the police officers and aiming guns at them and spitting on them and assaulting them, and throwing rocks on their cars, on their windows, all the way from up top of a bridge. You dropping big heavy boulders on their car windows. Don't you know that could seriously hurt them or even kill them? People have died because of stuff like that. Really? Only the left supports this madness. They support this. There is no excuse for it whatsoever. And I agree with the sheriff in Florida, and I disagree with Lizzo. Period. Bottom line. Tell me something, okay? Yeah, that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about this? What are your opinions on what the sheriff said that I read to you guys? If you haven't heard him actually say these words, what are your opinions? You think he went overboard? Do you agree with them? Do you think Lizzo was right? Do you think Lizzo was saying that that he's trying to take away these quote unquote protesters, which are actually agitators, communist agitators, that he's trying to take away their constitutional right to protest? What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.